All right, so let's talk about competing in the Baked Alaska.
Okay. Okay, baked Alaska. Cake, ice cream, and meringue. I've done all three, and let's just see what happens if you do it all at the same time. But I feel like that's easy. I can do it. I can do it right now.
So you bake as a passion and it's just in your blood? Is that how it?
Yeah, my grandmother, she's a big cook, and I'm Indonesian. That's my heritage, and first generation here. My family's still over there, and in fact, if you look at my blog, it's there's a whole bunch of trips that I make. Well, the last trip I went to Indonesia, and I haven't been there for 8 years, and finally see my family. And it's all about the food. It's all about the culture, and food is so tied in that it's almost automatic. And as a plus, my grandmother was a big cook in the family and used to cook for the Dutch and the plantation back in the days, turn of the century, almost, So we come from a long line of just people who love food. I started baking since I was really little, just because I love cake, but I don't really like to eat them. Which is really weird. I don't like anything that's too sweet. So I try to make the cake very balanced flavor wise and not just sweet. It has to have dimension. And it's always nice to see people when they're given something very special and kind of different. Um, as far as American cakes are concerned, I have sort of like a kind of a interesting relationship with it because I always try to see, okay, what can I do better? I know this is a tradition. Let me try to do it and elevate it. So my friends just told me, can you make me some brownies and chocolate chip cookies? And that's very American, and I'm totally into trying to make it the best that it could be and also maybe a little different. So it's always going to have some kind of a non-generic quality to it.
That's fun.
Yeah, I
You can
mean,
you can take the Baked Alaska and put a little spin on it.
yeah.
And I was trying to figure out, so Indonesian, okay, now it all makes sense because I couldn't place your accent and I couldn't,
Yeah.
and then the burlesque thing. So that's your, do you do
Well, I'm
burlesque and
actually
food?
a fashion designer by trade.
Oh.
So I'm trained on the visual level. I graduated from Rhode Island School of Design, and so I've been spending time in corporate fashion for about 14 years. So last year, sort of work kind of dried out, and I was already trying to change. But all along the time in the burlesque and nightlife in New York City, I've been doing it for about 10 years, and there's the difference is that you can be creative. Nobody tells you what's wrong or right. You just create. It's not a lucrative profession, but it certainly is. It gets me to exercise all my creativity. And with the baking and the burlesque, this is sort of it kind of goes hand in hand because the world that we deal with, it's a lot of sensuality, a lot of visuals, it's all very sensual, and I try to put that in my a lot of my cakes that I do, or just there's it's a sense, it's very sensorial, and I feel like that's the way this. It's sort of the same with watching a person on stage, and a lot of my creations lately, which it's all of my friends have been ordering stuff for maybe in the last actually since last winter. People like friends are coming up. Oh, can I order this and that? So in that sense, it's not my profession because I'm not even on that professional level yet. As far as selling my stuff, it's still sort of underground, and it's been great. And I like to put a little bit of narrative and a little bit of jokes, and it's sort of people who get it with the visuals. Most of the time they think it's funny. I don't know if you've seen my let them eat cock cake, and somebody asked me, can you make a penis cake for my wife's birthday? It's her 40th birthday, and I was like, well, with the penis mold, that's just kind of to me, it's a little cheesy. So how could we make it better? So and I found it, and it became this sort of Louis the 14th sort of concoction. It's sort of a mix of highbrow and lowbrow art just in burlesque. I try to do that in my cooking because I think cooking needs to be rooted in tradition, and I think some of the best cooking is not pretentious at all. And I think it should be you should be able to see both the highbrow and the lowbrow.